All right, what's up and what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Al, and I'm coming in. This is my video on my new page, as far as what we call Poker with Alex or Alex. I'll be talking about my daily ventures as far as what happens in the poker world. A little bit about myself. As far as poker goes, I actually started playing this back in 2002, and I've been a big fan of 1-2 No Limit, 5-5, things like that. I've played some PLO games. I've also played in the WSOP back in 2013. So we're talking about when they first introduced the Millionaire Maker. I flew out to Vegas and I got in that. I lasted about 7 hours. So I've been around for a while, and I love playing the game of poker. 1-2 No Limit is basically what I insert myself into, and a lot of fun. See, what else do we want to go with this? I guess I want to say that playing this, I take it serious. I really don't play it just to waste time. I actually look at it as a challenge. When I am on the table, I try to give it my best. I'll fold, so I'm considered what you consider. I'm not tight. I'm just very cautious, right? Because I don't like to lose, so I like to wait until I get the best hands and put myself in position to achieve success between me and a heads-up an opponent, or if I'm going against more than one. I try to make sure that I'm able to dominate, just like a lot of players do. When we play, I just look at it like a sport. I grew up playing sports, football, basketball, baseball, softball, flag football, things like that. And I never, ever tried to show up and not leave everything on the field, on the court, things like that. I would go at it, and I like to win. That was just me. I didn't like to lose. So that's the same way I look at poker. What does it do for me now? For 2026, I jumped all in because we now have poker rooms down here where I stay. And that is a big plus because I used to be a traveler. I used to be a traveler of the game, which meant that I would be pressed for time. I never could actually go and enjoy myself for the whole day if I chose, right? Because when you arrive, you have to put all these variables in the situation. You're talking about gas, you're talking about traveling, so that's time. You're talking about the hotel, you're talking about food, and you're out of your environment. You're in another area visiting, and you never really look at it on a serious level, right? You can, but for the most part, even though you're trying to play it serious, it's a lot different when you have to travel to it than when it's right in your backyard. When it's right in your backyard, it's easy. You can go whenever you choose. You can leave, come back if that's what you choose, and you can always go back the next day. So that's a bonus to have it right in your backyard. So in 2025 of December is when I actually said, you know what? I think I want to go straight into poker. I had been doing as a side hustle for 4 years. I was messing around with the delivery game, and it started tanking off, at least to me anyway, in my area. I didn't like the market. It was the numbers were starting to dwindle, and it just looked busy, and there was no getting from under the rock if you decide to stay in it. That was a side hustle. So poker is also in that same lane, but at the same time, it is so beneficial that I can make the money that I was making in deliveries, where it would take hours because of it changing over the time. When we first jumped into it in 21, of course, I could make that same amount of money in a matter of hours, just like in poker. But as the years progress, anybody did deliveries, you'll know what I'm talking about. It takes hours just to see a $200, $300 earn. It could take up to 12 hours. Now, imagine playing poker and you get on the table, and within seconds to minutes, right, you could be up 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to 1,000, depending on how many players are on the table and depending on what hand you receive and what hand your opponents receive and how big and how strong they felt about their hand, and you all get the money in. This could be in seconds. It could be in seconds. You can lose as well. But hey, the challenge is, to me, more beneficial than that of when I used to mess around with the deliveries for 2026. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, in 2025, late December 25th is when I went all in and decided that I was going to make poker more of a necessity as a retiree, because I'm retired. So everything I do, for the love of what I get done, all my responsibilities are taken care of. And poker is something that I go do. I take $300. That is what I use. That is how I got into the game. And I actually flipped it from December 25th pretty much up to January. I want to say by January 15th, I was sitting close to 7,000. 7,000. So basically, I've been playing, and it's up and down, but I use part of those winnings, right? And I paid down principal payments. I was able to use that money toward my principal payment, which was the same thing that I had planned on doing with the delivery game, right? That was the plan. But when that didn't happen, and it looked like I was always in a losing end, I decided to say, you know what, if I'm going to do this, then poker has to be the way. Poker has to be the way. And just like you, I'm pretty sure there's other guys, ladies, that are playing this game, and you respect it. You're grinding. You're taking it serious. You're having fun at the same time, but you're also being bored. That's another conversation. Poker can be boring, and that's a good thing, because that, to me, when I see somebody say it's boring, that means you're playing your game, right? And you're being patient and you're waiting until you get the right hand. So this is my first introduction to where I'm going in 2026. It's all about playing poker. It's all about building more than just a poker stash. Is actually a personal investment to myself. Like I said, as I make certain amount and I feel comfortable, I take part of that and I put it back into principal payments on my home and also my vehicles, right? So I try to knock out the middleman faster than paying the long term of what I have to do to get done with the payments. So that is my energy that I'm focused on. And poker is something that I love. Like I said, I've been playing it ever since I came on board and saw the big tournament. When the young man won back in 2002, I think it was, something like that, 2002, 2003. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's just when it happened. And I seen it one day, and I said, I like this, right? So I had the PS3 version of WSOP, I think it was, and I used to play that thing online, and then I jumped onto the online computer games, and I started playing on there. So I ran with those back in the day, poker sites that you can get into. And then I used to travel. Like I said, I used to travel to places, and I never could really get into a groove like I always wanted to. Now I can, right? So now when I do go play, I try to focus and put my energy straight into my game. So I try to bring it. So again, man, like and subscribe. This is the first video, my introduction to this lane of a challenge for 2026. My name is Al, and hope to see you more with more content. But like and subscribe, and I'll holler at you later. With that said, I'm out. Peace.